Hey there, good morning. Welcome to Emory University. We're really happy to have you. Just a friendly reminder that this session is the Global Experiences at Emory session, and it is being recorded. We ask that everyone remain muted throughout the session so that we can ensure that we have all of our panelists in full view, and they will be sharing some great information overall, the great diversity that exists in all global experiences at Emory. And again, this is a large group that we are anticipating today. We have over 100 plus that have signed up to hear more about our global experiences. So throughout the session and our time today, I will be kind of hopping in and just making sure that folks know they are in the right session. And again, this will be recorded. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. Just to say a friendly welcome to Emory University. My name is Giselle Martin. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Talent for the Office of Admission, and I first want to absolutely express my warmest congratulations to all of you that are on this call, whether you are students or families. You have all been admitted to the university, and we are just thrilled to have you here today learning all of our unique offerings on campus. You're attending, just a friendly reminder, a session and a webinar that's really focused on global experiences and opportunities at Emory. And it's really quite fascinating because we have such a wonderful global community as it is on our campus. Roughly about 17 to 18% of our incoming students alone are actually students from all over the world. And so it makes sense that approximately 50% of our graduates at Emory College have participated in study abroad, research abroad, internships across the globe. And that's our goal, is for you to learn how Emory uniquely combines meaningful international experiences as an integral part of what we believe is truly essential to a liberal arts education. So today you will hear from our campus experts on the subject, as well as from current Emory students that have actually participated in these experiences. And throughout the session, we will be answering some of the questions that you've already submitted previously. And then also we have our chat session too, functionality that you are more than welcome to submit your questions. We hope to make this session as engaging as possible. So we'll have some good polls throughout the way, because we're real curious to hear where many of you are from and what you're interested in. And if you do have any additional questions, again, please use the chat feature. My colleague Lupe Monteroso, who's the Senior Assistant Dean of Admission, will help us field your questions throughout the session. So again, thank you for being with us today. And without further ado, I'm going to actually turn it over to our esteemed panelists from our Global Experiences Office, Mr. Cliff Chan and Ms. Kate Dawson. Kate is the Study Abroad Assistant Director, and Cliff Chan is the Program Coordinator. And we will have them introduce themselves and then turn it over to the students to introduce who they are and what experiences they've had. So with that, I turn it over to you, Cliff and Kate.
Thank you so much, Giselle. As you said, my name is Kate Dawson, and I'm the Assistant Director in Study Abroad. I've been at Emory now for a little over 4 years, and we are so excited today to share with you all the different international experiences that you will all encounter through your time here at Emory. We'll also be hearing from 2 study abroad students, so you can hear a little bit more about firsthand from more recent students who have had the experience, get an idea of what your experience in your daily life would be while you're abroad. And of course, as Giselle said, please type in any questions that come to mind as we proceed along. Next slide, please, Cliff. So first up, we're gonna have a poll pop up shortly on your screen, and it'll ask, where do you want to study abroad? So please start entering your responses in there.
Always feels a little bit like The Amazing Race when you're seeing these polls, right?
It does. All right, so most votes are coming in, and it looks like more than half of you all are hoping to get to Europe, which I don't blame you. It's a lovely place. So it's great to see a variety of interests. Unfortunately, we don't have a program currently in Antarctica, so maybe in the next 4 years one will be developed, but yeah, it's great to see all of your interest. South America, Africa, Asia, all really well represented. So thank you all for sharing your hopes for studying abroad. That's great. All right, so we will just dive right in. As Giselle said, around 50% of students at Emory have an international experience before they graduate. So it is definitely good to know that it is a very common and popular thing for students to pursue while they're at Emory. We have over 100 different programs in 40 different countries to choose from. So you will see that you have opportunities to pursue almost anything while you are at Emory academically. Our programs complement your studies while you're at Emory. Our programs have all been vetted by faculty at Emory, and they are well situated and well suited to complement whatever academic areas you are pursuing during your 4 years at Emory. All of your credits and grades transfer back. In terms of credit, it appears as though you are taking Emory courses when you study abroad. So there's great continuity, which makes it really easy to incorporate your academic experience into your degree program at Emory. Your grades will count as though you were on campus. In terms of eligibility, if you're interested in studying abroad for a semester or for an academic year, you have to have completed 3 full semesters at Emory and have a 3.0 cumulative GPA prior to studying abroad. There are some semester or academic year programs that have higher prerequisites, or in the case of, for example, a language immersion program, maybe you need to have a handful of those language courses under your belt before you go. But every program that information as you're exploring your different opportunities. Another thing that varies is the housing arrangement. So again, sometimes on language immersion programs, you might live with a host family in a homestay environment. Other cases, you may live in an apartment or a dorm with other international students or local students, depending on the program. So it is really helpful to know that when you are studying abroad, you can take major requirements, minor requirements, GERs. So those sort of the core curriculum, the general education all students have to take, you can also take those while you're studying abroad. So it makes making sure that you're able to stay on track over the course of a semester really possible. Next slide, please. Thank you. So next up, we have summer study abroad opportunities. So these differ a bit from semester. The list is a bit shorter. There are generally 20 to 25 of these programs available each summer. They're mostly faculty-led, so they're generally directed by Emory faculty who have a role, typically a significant role, in teaching the academics of the program. These are often structured around a particular academic area. They have a thematic focus. So for example, we have a neuroscience and behavioral biology program that happens in Paris, or you can do a language immersion program in Morocco or China, or we have just a variety of different programs that are to students for a variety of different reasons. The eligibility is a bit different here. So actually for summer study abroad, you can start thinking about this as soon as you start your career at Emory. So the application will open in December for the following summer, and you would be eligible to go after completing 2 semesters at Emory. You need to have a 2.5 GPA in order to be eligible. And of course, similarly to the way semester programs are run, there are some programs that will have a bit of a different prerequisite. So maybe it's a higher GPA, maybe again, it's a language prerequisite, maybe it's different academic prerequisites depending on the program, but those will all be, that information will all be shared with students as they peruse the different summer options. And generally speaking, the summer programs happen sort of at all different points of the summer, and they range from 3 weeks, that's our shortest program, up to 8 weeks, that's generally our longest program. And these summer programs are certainly very popular, and we have many students who are able to consider studying abroad maybe the summer after their first year, and then again for a semester later on down the road. So you don't have to necessarily think of study abroad as a one-time thing during your time at Emory. There are many examples and cases of students that are able to pursue these opportunities more than one time. So Cliff, next step will be Cliff sharing a little bit about the Summer Global Internship Program.
Hi, I'm Cliff Chan. I am the program advisor for the Summer Global Internship Program. It's another opportunity to go abroad and to combine being in a different cultural setting and also pursuing your career path and learning more and exploring more about the career direction that you might be interested in pursuing. You know, if this is a program for all majors, and it's really one of our goals is to help you build a bridge from college to career. You could gain experience in one of 12 cities, both in the US and abroad. You're guaranteed an 8-week unpaid internship, and you also take a 4-unit online Emory seminar course. This is a program that's available to you after your sophomore year, and for students who have a 3.0 GPA. So there are these 3 different types of programs, and I wanted to invite our panel to speak now about your experience. And I'm going to unmute Stephen, or ask Stephen to unmute himself first and introduce himself, what year you are currently, what your major is, where you went and when you went, and then why did you choose the program that you did? So Stephen?
Yes, hello. So hello everyone. It's really nice to meet you. I'm Stephen. I'm currently a senior. Well, next year I'll be a senior at Emory University. I'm currently going to be majoring in computer science and mathematics. And the program that I chose was the one that Cliff described, the Emory Global Internship Program. The reason why I chose the program is because it definitely like satisfied both of my needs that I wanted for a study abroad experience. Because one, as a student, everyone wants an internship. So like by doing this program, I was actually able to have an internship while being abroad. And 2, I was able to earn credits. Also, that's gonna help me graduate on time as much. Because basically doing the program, you can take a 4-credit class attached to the program. So thus, it's like the best of both worlds in a sense. You can have a study abroad experience combined with an internship at the same time.
Thanks, Stephen. Stephen, you also started off at Oxford, is that
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
And so you were at Oxford, and it was after your second year at Oxford that you did this
Yes,
program?
after sophomore year. Yep, correct.
Cool. Great. Good. So next, Yobi.
Hi, I'm Yobi. I'm a junior in the business school studying information systems and operations management. And I studied abroad in the spring of my sophomore year in Milan, Italy. Um, so I think the main reason why I chose this program was specifically because I was really interested in Italian culture. Um, and I wanted to go to Northern Italy just because it was very convenient for a lot of the places that I wanted to travel to during my semester abroad. And I really, for me, like the specific timing had to do with the fact that it was my last semester in the college before entering the business school. And so I wanted to really take advantage of my last semester of really like a liberal arts education. And so I spent a lot of that time just exploring some of the classes that I wouldn't have been able to take at Emory, which was really nice.
And Giselle, sorry, and Yobi, what were one or two of the classes that you found really interesting?
So my favorite class that I took was a fashion management class, which is very different from anything I've ever taken before. And it being, since I was studying abroad in Milan, which is such a fashion capital, we went on field trips to like flagship stores. And one of our assignments was like to try to get into some of the Milan Fashion Week shows, which was really cool. And then I also took an international leadership class, which was cool.
Cool. Well, we'll hear more from Stephen and Yobi in just a moment. First, we wanted to invite you to enter into the chat your answer to this question: why do you want to study abroad? So if you're a participant on our webinar today, please enter into the chat now. Why do you want to study abroad? Why do you want to study abroad? So go ahead right now and enter into the chat. The chat feature is at the bottom of your screen. You can click on that. That'll pull up the chat box. And you can go ahead and enter into the chat. Why do you want to study abroad? What is your interest? And if you are here supporting a newly admitted student, feel free to also add your thoughts. What are the benefits of study abroad? If you studied abroad, why did you do it? Or what are your thoughts about the benefits of study abroad? So again, if you're a student, newly admitted to Emory, welcome. We're super glad that you're here with us. Why do you want to study abroad? So I'm seeing a lot of great answers. Just zooming in here, experiencing a different culture, your language skills, you want to use your Spanish, you want to have a first-hand experience, and you want to promote mental health, and both at Emory and as part of your education here, and then also globally. So you want that cross-cultural comparison. You'd like to study abroad to explore healthcare, improve your Chinese language. Wow, these are fantastic. Learn more about your major and create a global connection. These are all amazing reasons, and you certainly, a lot of people want to get beyond a lecture hall, get out of the classroom. So I'm going to ask Yobi, since you're here, what were, what were the benefits of study abroad for you?
Well, just to start, speaking to a lot of the comments about learning a language, this is something that you can definitely gain from studying abroad. I went to Italy without any previous experience learning Italian. And when you're studying abroad with it in a country that, in a non-English speaking country, you're required to take a language course. So I was taking Italian 101, and by the end of the semester, I could speak really well. Like I could just go to the local store or just speak with someone down while walking or anything. So I guess like the immersion while like learning the language is really impactful with the learning process. And I would say like personally and professionally for myself, I just gained this global perspective really taught me a lot about myself. It made me a lot more independent and a lot more aware of a lot of the opportunities out there. Before I didn't really, there were a lot of, I guess, job opportunities that I would never have considered that had to do with traveling. And now those are like kinds of my top, like my dream job choices. So I would say professionally, um, you gain a lot of perspective in terms of like the opportunities out there that you don't really engage with on a daily basis. Um, yeah.
Great. And Stephen, let's let you have a chance to say what were some of your takeaways? What kind of benefits did you gain from studying abroad and doing the global internship program?
Yes, definitely. So like Yobi said, I definitely agree that being abroad actually help you be more appreciative of the culture. Cause from basically since we're in the US, we see all these like fancy pictures of all like of all like the different countries abroad, but actually being able to be there and actually said like you were there actually makes you like made me more appreciative of the culture. And it made me want to actually learn more about the culture in a sense. Because for me, when I did the global internship program, I went to Hong Kong, and like Hong Kong, I didn't know like for me in my perspective, I didn't know that much about Hong Kong except from the pictures. But actually being able to be there actually made me want to learn Cantonese. Actually made me want to like experience the new culture and its like full extent to a sense. And also being able to do the global internship program abroad made me more accustomed to like the different working environments that like I will have to experience in the future. Because working in Hong Kong was definitely different from working in the US because they have their own work etiquette that you have to accustom yourself to. So that was also another thing that I had to accustom myself to. And like additionally, actually also interning abroad help you build your own like network in a sense to different types of like employers and such. Because while working at the company, I was actually able to extend my network with other companies that they partner with and use that to help build my career opportunities.
And Stephen, did you find that there was any advantage to being abroad and when you came back to your classes here?
Yeah, so like being abroad, it definitely made me more I guess like give me like a better like time management skills. Because while abroad, you have to like accustom yourself to actually manage everything step by step in a sense. So like you have to like still pay attention to your work while being able to like travel and also being able to like do the internship all at once. So definitely like being able to go abroad like hone that skill for me a lot in a sense.
Great. Let me ask Yobi a follow-up question. Yobi, I'm wondering if you could say something about how the experience helped you grow personally.
Yeah. I definitely experienced a lot of personal growth while abroad. I think that really it just has to do with being independent and not being able to rely on other people to do things for you or to kind of like um, hand to make up for your personal weaknesses. So just like one example for me is that I have a really poor sense of direction. Um, like I, even with navigation, I just don't know how to get anywhere. And being in Italy, I had to constantly use the public transportation and just having to engage with these challenges on a daily basis um, was really helpful for me to just be comfortable with that ambiguity and just be comfortable with the fact that like I don't know things and I just kind of have to take them as they go. So it definitely has made me a lot more flexible and like comfortable with my weaknesses and my ability to kind of grow. Yeah.
And can you say a little bit more about how your experience overseas, like you're in the business school now, so can you talk about how it guided you or influenced you, if it did in any way, for either what you're studying now or what you might do in the future?
Um, before I studied abroad, I knew what I was going to be studying, but I would say that the experience definitely opened my eyes to what I want to do professionally. So I do want to, I'm about to be a senior, I do want to work right out of college and then go back to grad school. But because I studied abroad, like I'm pretty confident that I want to go to grad school outside of the US. And that I want to do consulting. That wasn't something that I was very sure of before, but I do like the aspect of traveling and I kind of got used to that lifestyle while studying abroad. So it definitely guided me in that direction.
Cool, thanks. I'm going to turn it back over to Kate, who
Great.
can take it from here.
Yeah.
Share their slides again.
Thank you, Stephen and Yobi, for sharing your experiences there. So just to quickly summarize and recap, Cliff, I think if we can get to the next slide, that shows sort of the three benefits that we really see and that you just recently heard from Yobi and Stephen in terms of the benefits that they gain from their experience. But academically, of course, like I mentioned before, you can fulfill those major and minor requirements as well as your general education requirements. A lot of you mentioned interest in increasing or improving your foreign language abilities. So this is obviously a great academic opportunity that you can get through study abroad. Many of our students participate in research while they are abroad and can use that ultimately for a thesis. Of course, academically, you will gain an international perspective to your studies that you may or may not get while you're on campus at Emory. So it just adds a little bit of depth to the academic experience when you study abroad. Personally, of course, you have the opportunity for cultural immersion, as Yobi touched upon so eloquently. You have the ability to really develop your confidence in your level of independence, and sort of, in many cases, this is the first time that our students are having to exercise some of those skills of independence that that study abroad sort of gives you the opportunity to. Our students come back talking about how they're more adaptable and they have such a heightened global perspective of everything. They make lifelong friends, they have wonderful travel experiences. Of course, there are so many other personal benefits that students take away from these experiences. And then professionally, of course, global competence comes out of these experiences. Study abroad, whether you intern or study or do research, these are all great resume builders. They offer career networking opportunities, and the transferable skills that come out of these experiences will stay with you for the rest of your life. So next slide, please, Cliff. So switching back to our panelists, I hope to sort of keep this conversation somewhat broad and open, but Yobi and Stephen, I would love to hear just a little bit about sort of your daily life while you were abroad, maybe how you found adapting to a new culture, studying, how the academics of your program were. Maybe you want to share a little bit about your housing while you were abroad, any great adventures or challenges that you faced. So I think here our hope is just that you can share a little bit more about your personal experiences abroad, so that our students here that are listening in might be able to better picture themselves pursuing these experiences and imagining what their life would be like while they do study abroad. So Yobi, let's start with you if you don't mind, and just share what you like, please.
Yeah. So in my experience, I was staying in an apartment with 5 other students that were studying abroad from other U.S. schools and 1 local university student. So the local student was our community advisor. So basically she was kind of like an RA, just someone for us to turn to, a community advisor to help us adjust to being in Italy. And we didn't have meal plans or anything like that. So we had to, go grocery shopping, prepare our meals, go out to eat if we wanted to. And my schedule was very lenient. I mean, it was very flexible. So I didn't have any classes on Fridays. My program just did not offer classes on Fridays. And I only had classes twice a week. I had friends that had classes every day or had busier schedules, but mine just worked out that way. So when I wasn't doing school, I spent a lot of time in the city. So my friends and I like to walk around or go shopping, things like that. And a lot of my weekends were spent out of town. As many as I could do, I spent out of town. So some were just like by train, like I would travel around Italy, or some were like out of the country. I went to different, like London and Spain. Yeah, that was kind of the gist of it.
Great. That's so helpful to hear. Stephen, do you want to share a bit about your day-to-day life or anything else?
Yes, of course. So for me, I went to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's culture is definitely way different from the U.S. So basically, for me, I worked about roughly 5 days a week for roughly 40 hours for my internship. And also, additionally, on Fridays, I have like a 2 hour online Zoom session class. The online Zoom session class is the 4 credit class that you will have to take in like in addition to this internship program. And usually this class is like students from Emory. It's taught by Emory professor, and it's from students that are like in your region in a sense. So basically, when I was in Hong Kong, I was with like other students from like Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong that were all interning there, and like we just have the class together. And housing wise, the housing differs from city to city because like the program provider find you will try to find you the best suitable housing that's like gonna not be like too much traveling that you'll have to do to your internship spot. So typically they try to find your housing within 1 hour of commute. So for my housing, I got really lucky in a sense. So my housing was actually like a hotel room that they actually found me, and the hotel was actually like a 30-second walk to the train station. So basically, it was like a really really easy commute. So like every day it's like only like 20 to 30 minute commute each time. So that was like really really nice. And additionally, since I have the intern on weekends, I typically try to go out with friends that I meet through my internship. So like do this internship. So like this program is actually not ME specific. It actually has like students from other universities that's actually being able to do this program too. So I was able to meet students from like USC, UCLA, Boston University and such. So I was able to make friends with them and like travel around Hong Kong and such.
I do want to add one thing that Stephen made me think of. So in terms of like the housing and like the commute, Milan is a very expensive city, and the way that our program was set up, they provided everyone stayed in apartments, and they provided housing that was also within like 30 to an hour commute. And so I think the nice thing about studying abroad is that I will never be able to go back to Italy and live like that. To be completely honest, they try to make it as affordable as possible, and the accommodations were really nice, given like the location.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience that you cannot replicate once you've graduated from your undergrad. So definitely a good idea to pursue it while you're enrolled at Emory. So I think next up, I wanted to just give a quick overview of, I got a couple of questions privately from students too about financial aid and costs and that type of thing. And that's where we're gonna shift gears and go to right now. So Cliff, if you wouldn't mind sharing that slide. We're just gonna talk through kind of how financial aid works in the case of studying abroad. And it looks a little differently depending on whether you're pursuing a semester or a summer program. So semester-wise, the cost of studying abroad for a semester is relatively similar to the cost of being on campus at Emory. So your financial aid package will apply as though you were on campus. The difference in cost might be related to the cost of living of the place you choose to study. So there are some instances where studying abroad might be a bit lower cost than being at Emory's campus, and there are other programs where it might be a bit more expensive depending on where you choose to study or the inclusions that come with the program that you've selected. But it is really helpful to know, and for planning purposes, that whatever your financial aid package is for the semester will apply for semester study abroad whenever you decide to pursue that opportunity. For summer programs and the global internship experiences, financially looks a little different, and those awards that will range, the awards that will post to your account range from 35 to 80% of the cost of tuition. So just like any summer experience, it's a bit of an add-on to your experience at Emory. So there are some additional out-of-pocket expenses that arise from studying abroad over the course of the summer that aren't necessarily congruent with semester study abroad costs. The great news in all of this is that there are study abroad scholarships that exist for both semester and summer opportunities. Our office is happy and very active in working with students to promote these experiences and the scholarship opportunities, and helping students connect to the opportunities that might be available to you. So you can certainly look at our website to see some opportunities that are listed there. There are both internal Emory opportunities as well as external scholarship sources. And of course, when you're actually in the application process and you kind of narrow down where you want to go, you will have a study abroad advisor at Emory that will work with you to help connect you to these opportunities that are available for finding ways to pay for your study abroad experience. So I wanted to, I think, quickly turn to our panelists just to ask the question, now that we've kind of covered the basics of how financial aid works and the costs there, if you all might share a bit about how costs factored into your experience or your decision-making process studying abroad, if you don't mind. Stephen, we will start with you.
Yes, so cost definitely played a factor into my decision initially, because the Emory Global Internship program was actually roughly around 10K for the whole summer, so that definitely was a steep cost for me. But like after actually doing my research and actually like looking at Emory's study abroad webpage for scholarships and such, it was actually more affordable than I imagined. Because by applying to all the different scholarship opportunities that Emory offered, and also external scholarships, I was able to roughly decrease the cost of the program to roughly like 3K. It was about 2 to 3K, not including personal expenses and such. So definitely like all the scholarship that Emory offers and all the scholarships that like external sources offers definitely helped me decrease the cost of it. And roughly when it was like 2K, that definitely made it more affordable for me to actually be able to do this program and actually be able to get the experience that I wanted.
That's great. Thank you, Stephen. Yobi, would you like to share a bit about the decision-making process that you faced in terms of choosing your program?
Yeah, so I was definitely worried that studying abroad for a semester would be more expensive than a semester at Emory. But in my situation, it actually ended up being less expensive. I didn't apply for any scholarships, but I think that's something that a lot of students forget about. There's just so many scholarships. You know, some specific programs have them, or external scholarships. Emory has a few. And for myself, I do work study, so I had a replacement grant for the semester. But I would say that in terms of costs, like it's definitely something to consider, but there are a lot of like ways to kind of alleviate some of the your worries with that. And also just budgeting beforehand was really big. I was really big on budgeting beforehand.
That's great. That's really helpful. I think planning ahead is such a great idea, financially, but also academically. Of course, you want to make sure that you leave time in your schedule to fit in all the wonderful courses and opportunities that you can pursue whenever you study abroad. So thank you, Yobi and Stephen, for sharing about that. And, you know, the major takeaways I hope that you all have heard is that it can be affordable. Planning ahead can certainly help make it possible, and know that there are scholarship opportunities out there that you can pursue, and that we can in the study abroad office can help connect you with as well. So I think maybe now I might take a moment to address some questions that have come up in the chat, maybe since we've got a bit of time to do that. So I see a question about research that came through. There are research opportunities both available through our traditional study abroad programs, and then students also are able to pursue independent research, as you suspected, with their departments. So once you have selected a major and really get into the studies there, there are other opportunities outside of our traditional programs where students can be connected and pursue those research opportunities. And then research happens during all terms, as do our study abroad programs. So we have semester programs available in the fall and in the spring, and then we have summer programs that happen every summer. Our list of summer programs changes a bit from summer to summer. So we have some programs that run faithfully, consistently every summer. We have others that run even years only. We have some that run odd years only. So that list changes a little bit from summer to summer, but typically there are 20 to 25 options available each summer. Those specific programs and when they will run, that is decided every November for the following summer. So when you start your semester at Emory in the fall, around November will be when you're able to visit our website and see a new exciting list of program options that we anticipate to be available for summer 2021. So you can certainly look now and see what's there, but that list for 2021 will be finalized by early November if you want to keep an eye there. And Lupe shared a link to our website where you can see all those options and just explore, kind of see what's available. Somebody asked about the logistics of bringing students home this semester. So as you can imagine, in the Study Abroad office, we have been quite busy and working with students who were studying abroad this spring semester, and that process has been ever evolving, but I think that the important thing to know is that our students have stayed safe and they have stayed optimistic and they have stayed engaged in their courses. So luckily, for the most part, our students have been able to continue on with their learning experience from studying abroad, even from their quarantines at home, wherever home might be for them now. So logistically, our office on a one-on-one basis with every single student that we had out this spring to make sure that we supported them in getting a flight home as quickly and as safely as possible. Financially, we have been working with them just as Emory was working with students who were on campus during the spring semester. So we have had the opportunity really to work so closely with our spring semester students, and that's been a big project, but I think that that it's going as well as to be expected, given that no one dreamed of this for their spring semester, and it's not what anyone hoped for, but we all, of course, are making the best of it. So thank you for that question. There are scholarships available for studying abroad. There are need-based scholarships available for studying abroad. There are all types of scholarships available, and what we recommend students do is to really think about what's unique about them and what's unique about their program of choice. So as an example, STEM students are traditionally underrepresented in studying abroad. So that's an example of something to think about. If you're pursuing one of those STEM fields while you're at Emory, you might identify scholarship opportunities that are specifically tailored to those majors and getting those students abroad. So that's just one example, but probably you all are in the process of looking at scholarships to find out how to afford to go to college, and in some ways it's a very similar experience of kind of being creative, thinking outside the box, and doing some real research to find funding sources for studying abroad. If you Yes, if you participate in non-Emory study abroad programs, a lot of these programs are approved Emory experiences for the semester. So they do have their own sources of funding and scholarships available for students in conjunction with the same policies that apply to the portability of your financial aid package at Emory. So it is great to keep in mind that the program that you choose to attend may have funding as well available for students. Cliff, I see a question here about internships. Internships for freshmen or junior students. Do you want to talk a little bit about the eligibility there?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So the Global Internship Program is available to students after your sophomore year. And so that is after sophomore, junior, or even senior year, students are eligible to apply. It is competitive in the sense that we are looking for a good match between the student who's applying and the program. So there's not a cap at this point on the number of students that we can take, but we're really looking for students who know what the program is and are ready for a pretty independent summer experience as an intern, either abroad or in the case of some students who want to stay in the US, they might go to San Francisco or New York, Boston, or elsewhere in North America like Toronto. So, but pretty much an independent internship experience. So that's why we wait until then. Students who want help finding an internship after their first year can definitely take advantage of resources at the Career Center. And we're about to tell you about some of the next steps in the process. Students can do summer study abroad after their first year as well.
Great. Yeah, why don't we, Cliff, if you don't mind, if we can bring that slide up, I will just give you all a quick snapshot of the planning that you might want to just sort of keep in mind, and we'll talk about some next steps, and then we will, I think, come back to questions after that. So the good news is, like Cliff was saying, you're able to study abroad as soon as the summer after your first year at Emory. What this translates to is during your first semester at Emory, you can already start thinking about the possibility of studying abroad during summer 2021. We typically have, like I was saying, we finalize the list of summer programs by early November. So that'll be just, a few short months after you've started the semester. And the application for summer 2021 will open in December. Deadlines, as you see here, summer deadlines will be for our traditional summer study abroad programs, February 15th, and then for the global internship program, February 3rd. So it will come up quickly, and so it's great to kind of put that in the back of your mind and remember that that'll be on the horizon sooner rather than later. And then when you're considering doing a longer term experience or a global internship, for semester programs, generally the rule of thumb is that your application will be complete and everything will be kind of settled about halfway through the semester before you want to go. So if you're thinking about going during the fall semester or for an academic year, the deadline for that is going to be March 1st. If you're thinking instead about going during the spring semester, the deadline for that will be October 1st. So that's just intended to help you plan ahead a bit. So of course, I invite you all to take a look at some of our social media accounts. We're on Instagram and Facebook. On Instagram, you can certainly take a look there and see some of the photos of, every year we host a photo contest, and we ask our students who have studied abroad to submit photos from their experience, so you can get some travel inspiration and get an idea of what our students' experiences have looked like and where students have been. And it's just a really, our students are such talented photographers too, so it's a real pleasure to look at those pictures. And then, of course, we invite you to visit our website, which is studyabroad.emory.edu. Those tiles there on the left, the search program tile or the summer programs or the global internships tiles, will all direct you to our online brochure pages, which will show you a snapshot of the programs that are available, the locations. There's some great photos, some ways to sort of acquaint yourself with the academic options that will be available to you. And then I guess we will turn back over now to our questions here in the group chat.
There were some great questions that came through across the board. So you're seeing a couple of them there. First and foremost, thank you so much to all of you for your great responses and kind of letting everyone that's joined us today and just get a much better feel of what the global experiences are at Emory. There's a handful of questions that were sent to us prior to that we would love to get to before our session wraps up. And they're a little bit more about the specialty programs that we have on campus. So if we can address some of those and then go into the chat questions as well, that would be great. One of them is for the students that are interested in any of the pre-health majors. We hear from a lot of other students in other universities that if you're doing pre-med or pre-health, pre-nursing, that it becomes really difficult and really challenging to have those global experiences. Can you all talk a little bit about how that looks at Emory for students that are pursuing those areas of focus?
Sure, yeah. So there's kind of two things to consider. One is if you are pre-health, on a pre-health track, you have great support at Emory to help you navigate the experiences and opportunities that are available to you. One of the sort of common pieces of advice would be to consider the courses that you have to take sequentially. And many of our students sort of create a protected semester during their 4 years at Emory where they have some academic flexibility. This varies on timing from student to student, but they can certainly work with their academic advisor as well as our office to find out the timing of when a semester experience might be possible to fit into their 4 years. And then, of course, it's very popular with our pre-health students as well to pursue some of our summer experiences, just because there are so many of those sequential courses that happen in the fall and the spring that fitting in the experience during the summer is usually certainly doable and very popular. And we have many thematic summer programs available for students. Like we have a chemistry program, and in particular that a lot of pre-health students might take advantage of. We have a neuroscience and behavioral biology. We have a traditional biology program that runs every other summer. So we have lots of different academic areas that cater to those particular academic areas of interest, and that sort of fit into the curriculum in a way that makes it possible and feasible to pursue those experiences for those particular majors that, part of our job is to sort of bust the myth that those students can't study abroad, because so many students come into Emory believing that it's just not something that's possible for them given their future, academic and career goals. And we mostly want to get the message out that it might require additional planning that a student in a different academic track might not have to consider as much, but it is fully possible and feasible to fit that into your 4 years at some point while you're at Emory.
It harkens back to that original point that you made. I mean, part of this is planning and being proactive, and starting your conversations early. This is why during first year orientation, the Global Experience Office is actually part of that process, and conversations do start very early because it's not just the study abroad opportunities, it's research abroad, it's internships abroad. And one of the questions that was asked here is how many times can students, do global experiences at Emory? And quite frankly, one of the things that we hear from leadership at the university is that we kind of like to break the rules a little tiny bit here and make this a really unique experience to go hand in hand with what the students are learning in the classroom. So you have really a multitude of chances throughout your 4 academic years at Emory to really engage globally, both while you're on campus and beyond. Another question that came up is certainly a very timely one. How is Emory handling the pandemic with regards to its upcoming study abroad programs? And the question about summer and fall programs, are they on hold for study abroad? And to ensure the safety of our students, which is our #1 priority as an institution, not just our students, but our faculty and our staff that are also very much engaged in these global experiences. Emory has made the decision to actually cancel the upcoming fall global experiences, as well as this summer global experiences. And the good thing is that they're still in the works and planning on how to ensure that students get that global perspective, even if they can't get to those country experiences specifically this summer and this fall. But for those of you that are incoming first-year students, we hope that Emory, with the faculty and the research that is going on, will be at the forefront of finding a vaccine for COVID. We're actually one of the first. Some of our faculty members are actually some of the first in the field to actually already go to human trials for COVID vaccines. And so we are hopeful that by the time that you as a student are looking for those global opportunities at the end of your first year, that we will be fully engaged to be completely mobile and absolutely global, as we always have been and we hope to always will. So we have about two minutes or so to kind of wrap up. And so just any last thoughts and sentiments from Cliff and from Kate, and then of course from the students. The student question that I would love to pose is, what do you wish you would have known before making that decision to come to Emory? So we'll leave you thinking about that question, and we'll turn it over to Cliff and Kate to kind of share some of your last takeaways for the webinar.
I think I would add, I know a couple of people have asked the question of what makes these experiences unique to Emory. And I would just say that the faculty involvement and engagement in our study abroad programs is what makes these experiences unique. Particularly as it relates to our summer programs, like I was mentioning, we have faculty that are so invested in these long-standing relationships and partnerships that fit so perfectly well within the different academic areas that are offered by Emory. So these are really sort of capstone experiences that you will take with you for the rest of your life that keep you on track or support your studies in whatever that area that you're pursuing is. So I think that sort of the opportunities that exist are unique, certainly. And then, of course, the way and willingness in which our office and the university itself is willing to support you in pursuing these experiences financially, academically, and everyone is just supportive of you pursuing these international experiences, and everyone wants you to find a way to make them work and fit into your 4 years at Emory. So I personally think that is what is outstanding and unique about our international program offerings at Emory.
Thank you.
I'll just add that the leadership of Emory has really placed a premium on helping students navigate from college to career. Global Internship Program is one of those signature initiatives. There are also other classes and ways that we are helping students to find their edge. How does the liberal arts give you an edge in navigating from college to career? And so it's possible to do an internship while you're studying abroad for the full semester. And of course, we have the specific summer global internship program. So
Thank you, Cliff. And now for our students, Stephen.
Oh yes. So yeah, so for Emory, it's definitely like a really, really the global interest program is actually a really, really beneficial program for me because it actually helped me confirm that I actually want to be a software engineer major rather than like because like prior to the program I actually wasn't sure what I wanted to be. Like actually doing it and actually being experienced it firsthand in like a really great city, that definitely helped confirm my decision. And in the future, I plan on maybe actually be able to like work abroad and like being experienced, like being able to like explore more avenues of career options.
Great. Thank you, Stephen. And Yobi.
I think one thing that I've realized, just reflecting is that when you're like planning the semester abroad and then when you're actually living it, it feels like it's just going to be that one semester, that one experience, but that one experience ends up having a very long lasting impact. Like I still feel the impact on myself now. And so I think that, the important thing to know is that it's not just about making the most of this one semester, but making sure you know how you're going to apply, those experiences to the rest of your college career and your life.
Thank you so much, Yobi. Such meaningful words as takeaways. I am reminded in your words of the fact that I have the great pleasure of traveling on behalf of Emory all over the world. Literally, I circumnavigate the world looking for talent. Many of you that are on this call every single year from all over Latin America to Asia to Oceania to Europe. And I am always just so impacted by the Emory alums that I meet in every single corner of the world, some of which are going back to their home countries and have started major organizations, and others, much like you all, that planted that seed long ago, that a global experience is what is meaningful now more than ever to really be kind of social entrepreneurs in whatever field they may be playing a part in. So thank you so much, Cliff, Kate, Stephen, Yobi, for being with us today, for sharing your experiences and what Emory has to offer. We will be sending out a copy of this recorded session for all of you to enjoy once again if you would like. And as always, stay tuned to our weekend update where we share all the upcoming webinars that we will be hosting for our admitted students and families. Thank you so much for being with us. If you have any questions, please email admission@emory.edu. We are here for you for any questions you may have, and we hope to see you this fall. Thank you so much. Take care.